Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samira. If you're new here, I have a little segment called Samira Reads and this is part 3. If you guys would love to hear more about books, please let me know down in the comments below and let me know what your favourite book is and what you want me to read next. So let's do January recap, even though we're in mid-February. So let's do, the first book of the year was Untying the Knot. So she just gives, it's about him and her, they met like 11 years ago or something like that, and they kind of hit it off and they start kind of seeing each other randomly, no phone exchange, there's a lot of Instagram messages. That part of the book, loved it. I don't recommend this book, so books that I don't recommend I do tend to talk about a lot, and books that I do recommend I try to keep as minimal as possible so you guys can go and read it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't recommend this book, so here we go. So they have, on the third time, so they're running to each other a few years apart, and then the third time they kind of hit off well and they exchange number, blah blah blah, and they start dating. All that is well and good. So then the reason why they're untying the knot is 11 years down the line, she doesn't know if this is the person she married. He's changed, blah blah blah. So they kind of do things to get back together, or be, she wants to get divorced, and then he's like, listen, I don't want to divorce you, I don't even know what's going on, I don't know what happened, I still want to stay with you, so we shouldn't get divorced. And then he's like, give me a month, or was it 6 weeks, something like that, give me a certain amount of time, because they're going to a friend's wedding, and he's like, I don't want us to go like divorced to kind of cloud their day. It makes no sense, he's just making an excuse to kind of win back his wife, if that makes sense. All of that is good and well, but she is a child. She's not 30 something years old, she's really and truly 12, and I don't like that. And no matter how much effort he puts in, she's like, so I don't like it, don't recommend it at all. I gave it a 1 star. So this is my review. I'm gonna read it quick, so I'm gonna read it really quick. This book seems to drag on pointlessly in my opinion. Mila is very immature, her upbringing does not account for her treatment to him. At first she's fantastic and clever, and I hate to admit it, but despite my best effort, I cannot recommend this book. There was a great deal of the pointless writing. The length of the book should not exceeded 300 pages, which I 110% agree. Second book of the year was such a popular book. It was the Twisted series by Anna. Don't do this to me. Internet connection. Outrageous. What happens to the internet? It's sad, guys. But from what I remember, right, it was a best friends brothers trope. And I'm not gonna lie, I had such high hopes for this. This is like the Colleen Hoover level of hype this book had. So like the Twisted series, every person that I saw talk about this book was like such positive things, and I was like, I was gonna read it last year, but then I was like, let me give it a chance this year. So I decided to read it. Twisted Love is the first book. I downloaded all 4 books on my Kindle, and I've only read the first one. And this is like, I don't remember what day of the year this was, but it's about a guy, the best friend, his brother's best friend, and her. And I just feel like, I don't even know what to say about this. I gave it 2 stars. Let me just read my review. It's an okay book. I personally enjoyed the revenge plot. Yeah, it was such a random revenge plot. And I felt like it was either, she's mine, I don't want her to go anywhere, and hers the same. And then it's like, nothing. So I don't know. I don't recommend this book. Her writing, though, of the book was really, really good. I enjoyed the way she wrote. So it's not like I'm not going to give her book another chance. I just don't care for the Twisted series. So I'm judging the whole series based on this book. That's the type of person I am. If a series, the first book does not captivate me enough, I'm not going to go and be like, let me give 3, 4, 5 a chance. No. It needs to start good to go good. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's the second book of the season. Sorry. Yeah, of the season, technically. Okay, so that's the second book of the thingy. Twisted Love, gave it a 2 star. Don't recommend it either. Now, guys, by the way, I genuinely like romance books. So the first 2 were romance. Third book, should I say the trilogy that's coming up next? 3 books, guys. Oh my god, it's the Prison Healer series. Trilogy, should I say, by Noni Lynette. This book, I absolutely loved it. It's about a girl. Her name is Zay. What the hell was her name? Guys, I read this book so fast. It did start with her name's Kiva. She worked at a prison called Zalindov But anyway, it's about a 17-year-old girl called Kiva, and she's left in this prison. She came when she was 7, and she just needs to escape this, but then no one's ever escaped this, and it's just so captivating. I really enjoy this book. Like, I don't know how to like explain it. The rebel queen shows up on her deathbed, and then she basically gets sentenced to Zalindov, but she gets sentenced to a trial where she needs to pass 4 trials in order for her to be declared innocent, and only then can she be innocent if she passes all 4 trials. So so the queen is on her deathbed, honey boo boo, so there's no way she's gonna do this. So Kiva steps up and says, I volunteer as tribute. And that's what happens. And she goes through the trials, and I'm not going to tell you guys anything because you're going to have to wait and see. So I gave these 3 books. So you've got The Prison Healer, you've got The Gilded Cage, which is the second book, and The Blood Traitor. All 3 of them, I gave them 4 stars each. The reason why there wasn't 5 stars, because there was a romance going on, but it wasn't like strong romance. The romance was the side, which was fine, hence why it's 4 stars. But I wanted a bit more romance, if that makes sense. These books, I went through them. Like, I started The Prison Healer on the 24th. I finished it on the 24th. I started January 24th, The Gilded Cage, finished on the 24th. Started The Prison Healer on the 25th, finished on the 25th. I was just like I was like obsessed with my Kindle. Now, I've read so that is 2, 3, and so that was 3, 4, and 5. So book number 6 was Are You Awake by Claire McGowan. This is an author that I've heard so much about, and I was like, I'm going to give this book a chance. And I don't tend to kind of go based on her popular books, which I'm pretty sure they're popular for a reason, but I like to go for a book that it's all right. And because I did because that was my second fantasy magical book, the trilogy. The first book was Court of Thorn and Roses, and this one's my next one. I figured, let me go for some crime, some thriller, some mystery, right? And gave it 2 stars. It's about a mom. She's got 2 young kids. I think was it 3 under 2 or something like that. She had a baby, newborn, and then she had a younger one, Audrey, and she was awake. It's set in London, and she looks out the window, and then she sees some shadow moving across the street, across the park, some houses, and she was like, oh my god, I saw someone basically some violence going on. And she's not the only one that sees it. You also got this other guy he has PTSD from the war. He's a journalist, and he went to, I think it was Iraq, and he's got he can't sleep at night, so he's insomniac, whatever. And he also saw some shadows moving. So then they both come together and they try to find Savannah. The person on there is Savannah. So Savannah also gets a few chapters of her perspective, which I thought was quite cool. And yeah, they tried to make it back. I don't feel like I know it's just it's not a real story, but it just doesn't give me like a mother, because I am a mother of 2 kids. I don't believe I would put this much effort and things. That's just me. Again, it shouldn't really be based on my thought, but I just felt like it was so much information to do with her life and his life, and also Savannah's life. And you're just like, but Savannah's missing. Let's focus on Savannah. I don't give a shit about what happened to you and why you're like that and why you're stalking your ex and all of that. Can we focus on Savannah? So I did end up skipping quite a bit of the book just to get to what happened to Savannah. So, as I heard so much about this author, and this book ruined it for me. The book was initially captivating, but Mary's lack of knowledge as a lawyer is appalling. And furthermore, how does someone who barely gets enough sleep to function as a mother of 2 under 3 get the time to do all of this? So, Mary's supposed to be a lawyer. So, I'm not going to tell you actually. If you guys want to go find it, read it. I did lose interest 40% of the book and forced myself to finish it by skipping chapters in between. Finding Samantha and Della alive is the only reason I read the book. So I guess the author kind of did its job by keeping me interested enough to finish the book. So yeah, I gave this book a 2-star. It couldn't be a 1 because I chose to still be interested. The next book is 2 Wrongs Make a Right. Now, I didn't write a review on this one because I didn't have enough of a review to write. It's about a guy and a girl, Jamie and B. B is, she's on that, what is it, autism scale. She's not severe, she's just mild, sort of. And he has anxiety all the time, so they kind of get put together, forced by her sister and his best friend, and they just find out, like, oh, so they fake date, and they find out, oh shit, because they didn't give the sister and his best friend didn't give him and her their real names. They basically decided to choose to give each other the middle name so they wouldn't know it's Jamie and B. So then they're like, okay, then let's talk and then let's meet over here. So when the day they meet, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you, can't believe it's you. But then they kind of scheme to make a fake dating plan because they could see her sister and the guy, the best friend, following them. And they're like, you know what? Since they want us to be together so bad, let's fake it. So I feel like they did end up falling for each other, obviously, but I felt like he gets a lot of anxiety and he didn't have enough time to explain. And I felt like she wasn't giving him enough time to explain. And I don't know. Genuinely, this is why I didn't write a review for them, kind of, because, yeah, I gave it a 3-star. I feel like it was alright. It was okay. Was that the first thing I would recommend? I don't know. So, the book that I read, Final Offer, is I need to start freaking. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Final Offer was number 8. I read 9 books. No, I didn't. That's it, January. That was it for January. Final Offer, I wrote it. I read it on, I think I started it a few days after it came out. And it supposedly came out on the 31st of Jan. So I'm just gonna do a review for the 2 books I've read so far because it's fair. I'm recording it mid-February. So I've read Final Offer by Laura Ashen. It's one of my most anticipated books of the year. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people find this book their favourite book compared to Rowan and Declan, the other 2 books. And I don't know. I feel like Declan's book, Terms and Conditions, was like my favourite out of the series. And I still believe it is, even though I've read Final Offer. I feel like, yeah, number 2 is better than number 3. Yes, I said it. I feel like Callahan did not capture my heart the way Declan did. I feel like Declan and Alana's story dragged on, and because they had history, I felt like we had to keep going back and forth. Compared to Iris and Declan, they didn't have much history going on, so therefore I preferred that book. That's my personal opinion. That's my 2 cents, but I did give it 3-star. I don't want anyone coming for me, and that's all I'm going to say about Final Offer. I feel like I really anticipate this book, and because I read Rowan and Declan close together last year, I think that put pressure on Final Offer being better than those 2. And again, it was a great book, just not worth 500 pages. And I prefer my second book. So, don't come for me. It's my opinion, okay? Now, this is a book I saw on a girl on Instagram. I don't know her name. I want to say Sima's in there. Her name, Smiley, something like that. But it's not. Don't want to get it wrong. Someone recommended on her Instagram, on TikTok, one of the books called The Wrong Bride. And I thought it was really, really good. And then I read it and I was like, what did I read? What did I read? The whole time I was like, ugh, Magnolia Parks all over again. But at the same time, I feel like it was, I don't know. I wanted to know what happened. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know what to give it. I feel like I'm going to give it a 2-star overall because it's not letting me bloody review it, to be honest. I think something's going on. But it's about 2 sisters and a guy. Yes. Why is that a thing? 2 sisters and a guy. Huh?
Come on, you're gonna play.
I gotta finish. I was talking to Layla the whole time. Give me 5 minutes. Gotta go play Monopoly. So let me just finish off. Yeah, yeah, so it's about two sisters, Hannah and Raven, and the main guy called Aries. Hannah is the older sister, Raven's the younger sister. Hannah has some disease, which they never mentioned throughout the whole book. And the whole reason Raven was born was to donate her bone marrow to Hannah. So then Hannah always felt like, the whole reason you're born and you exist, honey, was to keep me alive. So shush. So Raven was engaged to Aries. That's how I'm going to say his name. I don't know that's how you spell it. And something happened. And then he was like, we're going to switch partners. We're going to go for Hannah. So they dated for 5 years. And then Hannah was like, I don't want to marry you anymore. But the grandma was like, I don't give a crap who's marrying him. Someone's going to be at the aisle this week, basically. And yeah, Raven shows up and Hannah doesn't take it well. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. It gets more complicated than that. But the whole time I'm like, drama, angst. I'm like, that's why it's a 2-star. Anyway, before I go, that's it for my reviews. Those are the books I've read. 9 books so far in the year. I am currently 3 behind. Absolutely fine. I'm going to read a few in the train. This is the book Asha's currently reading, and this is the book I want to start reading. She said it's really, really good. She's been saying she wants to read this book for 1.5 years now, and I'm glad she actually finally got the copy, and she's going down to read it. So I'm going to read this. Second book. I am going to commit. Yes, I know. I am going to commit on the Kindle. I don't do physical books. But Aisha read this and she was like, this was so much better than the first book. So I am going to commit. I will read this. So hopefully in my next recap in Samira Reads, you might see me with finishing these 2 books. Inshallah. So yeah, if there's any books that you would like me to put. Oh yeah, I'm going to read because it's in my wanting to read. No, let's go to want to read. Currently reading. What I want to start is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I actually purchased it on my Kindle and I was about to start. You see, I purchased it on the January 29th and I was like, I'm going to read it. I haven't, but I will. By Stephanie something. The page changed, sorry. And I want to read Beach Read and The Honeymooners. That's really, really good. And The Inheritance Game. I will keep you guys updated. Belladonna. I've been wanting to read that, but if I'm going to read The Court of Mist, I don't really want to do 2. Magic. So that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed Samira Reads because I know it doesn't do well as my other videos, but this is what I do. I like to read. So if you guys do enjoy reading, please leave your comments down below. And also the book that I read, the last book I said, The Wrong Bride, very spicy. Very, very spicy. So be aware of that. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoy this book. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And bye guys.